everybody, welcome back. We are exposing some big company secrets that you weren't supposed to know. I woke up this morning and chose violence!
When I was a teenager, I worked at a Subway, and one of our responsibilities was called doing the dates. And what that meant was that we were supposed to go in the freezer and in the cooler that you see all your food in and take out all of the containers and take off the sticker that says when that food expires and replace it with a new date. We weren't replacing any food, just the expiration sticker. Also, one time I was prepping tomatoes. I was slicing them and I got to the bottom of the box and found a bunch of moldy tomatoes. So I took them out and I threw them in the trash can. And at that moment, the owner walked in and saw some tomatoes in the trash and yelled at me, a 16-year-old child, and proceeded to take the tomatoes back out of the trash can, slice them up, and put them in the freezer to serve to people. As soon as he left, I went and got them and threw them away because, ew. But yeah, stuff like that happens all the time. Oh, and the roast beef is green if you look at it up close. And any chicken dish, the frozen chicken strips are taken out of the freezer super early in the morning and left on the counter until the night shift gets there. So by the time night gets there to actually like prep it into chicken teriyaki or whatever, it's warm and sitting in its like congealed juices and we have to like drain it off.
I apologize to anyone watching this video on their lunch break. I know a few of you do that. So essentially this video was just how to get mud butt at Subway. Cool, man. You said it was 20 years ago, so maybe the standards have changed. But that's disgusting. Exposing Abercrombie and Fitch. I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch in 2008. I don't even know where to start. Sales associates were called models and you had to be recruited to work there. There was a look policy and a bunch of books for managers to look at pictures of people who had the Abercrombie look. This was a bizarre guideline for managers to recruit by. Managers basically got promoted based on their ability to recruit attractive employees. Associates who were not as attractive could work in the back and be part of the impact team. Every few months or so, the top 5 attractive girls and top 5 attractive guys would get together for a cast of photo. I have no clue what the point of this was, but it got sent to corporate. I remember a lot of hurt feelings around this because many people wouldn't be asked to be in it. The store did not sell any black clothing at the time. Associates could not wear eye makeup, lipstick, blush, or nail polish. If you had any of these on, a manager would send you home or ask you to take it off in the back. The cologne sprayed out of machines in the ceilings. And we would also go around and spray the clothes every few hours. Everything needed to be folded to perfection, and the message I got was that making the store look nice came before customer service. The previous CEO has been gone for a long time and it's totally different now. They rebranded to be more of like an H&M or fast fashion chain. I don't think a store could survive like that in 2022. Some of the practices were very controversial. There's also an entire documentary on this. And they're not the only store that did that. I worked at an unnamed Canadian store back in the day. And I was in my like weird phase where like I wore some black lipstick. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I wore black lipstick, I wore blue lipstick, and they would put me in the back to like steam clothes whenever I chose to wear that lipstick because it wasn't on brand. Should I say the store name? This same store, and I know this for a fact, they like judge people when you walk in. So they take a look at the purse that you're wearing. They take a look at, you know, like how you're dressed and stuff. And they won't approach you as a customer if you look like you're not rich enough to buy the clothes there. Now I go back to the store and purposefully look like, and then buy like $1,000 worth of stuff just to piss them off. Because if they don't approach you, then that's not their sale. You know what I mean? So you get up to the front and they say, oh, who helped you with this? And it's like, no one helped me. And then they get in trouble. And what's so screwed up about that is that I don't really think that they make commission. I certainly didn't make commission for how much I sold them. You were essentially competing for the right to work there. So like the more you sold, the more hours you would get. But if you didn't sell as much, you wouldn't get hours. And ironically, they also hired models. A friend of mine was one of the models, and they hired her specifically to wear the clothes, to make the clothes look good. She was not held to the same standard. She still got hours because she was beautiful and on brand. It was Aritzia. It was Aritzia. I still buy the clothes there for the record, but as far as I know, a lot of those practices haven't changed yet.
So when I was a teenager, I worked at Sonic for 3 days. That's 3 days too many. So first of all, workplaces aren't allowed to keep minors out, especially on school nights past a certain time. They did not care. They would keep me there till 1 in the morning. But that's not even the worst part. At the end of each night shift, they would clock everyone out against their will and make them stay an extra hour to clean. The manager would stand in front of the doors, and no one was allowed to leave till the place was clean. And just a reminder, you were clocked out. So you were doing it for free.
Stop!
I quit the very next day.
Straight you did, girl. I don't know about you guys, but hearing that companies treat their employees in a certain way makes me never want to go there. Like, it really does. Because, like, you know, I have a company, and I think it's important to treat your employees well, because you wouldn't be able to run your company without them. And also, do you know how much companies pay in taxes per year because of how much they make? It's literally you give your employees the money or you give it to the government. So, like, I'll never understand it, but that's just how I feel. This is what really grinds my gears today. Dairy Queen ice cream is legally not allowed to be called ice cream? What? We're supposed to call it soft serve at every instance and never refer to it as ice cream because it does not contain a high enough dairy content. But what about Dairy Queen ice cream cake? Let me do my research. Oh, soft serve, Blizzard treats, soft serve magic. I'm trying to see if the website ever refers to it as ice cream. Soft serve, DQ soft serve. Wow, okay, this is legit. That's weird. All right then. In almost every labor job I've worked, including being a valet, people smoke and drink on the job. The valet service I work for never even asked to see my driver's license. Interesting. So those guys that you're trusting with your Camaros and your Ferraris don't actually know how to drive. This isn't controversial and it's going to be buried, but I thought it was hilarious. I worked for Hasbro for a while, specifically with G.I. Joe and Star Wars figurines. During my time there, I learned that Hasbro does not keep an archive of past toys. No warehouse, no expansive shelves and containers, nothing. What do they have? A tiny, dingy basement where they keep all the toys they buy on eBay when they need to reboot a series. That's right, whenever you see a top 10 G.I. Joe re-release or a best of Star Wars figurines, there's no magical place where they go to dust off the master molds. Nope, they hit eBay, the G.I. Joe forums, buy the old toys, resculpt, recast, repaint based on the old figures, and then re-release them. Is that like cheaper? All right then. All right, right here we got the KFC recipe. Are you ready? 2/3 tablespoon salt, 3 tablespoons of white pepper, half a tablespoon of thyme, half a tablespoon of basil, 1/3 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of celery salt, 2 tablespoons garlic salt, 1 tablespoon black pepper, 1 tablespoon dry mustard, 4 tablespoons paprika, 1 tablespoon ground ginger. How do you know that? What's the secret, what's the secret in there? Isn't there like a secret ingredient or something? Is there a secret? That looks like a pretty standard fried chicken recipe. But not standard, because honestly, every time I eat KFC, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like there's something that they put in that chicken. Maybe it's like the amount of grease, but it's just so bad for you. Your whole body just rejects it. At least mine does. Same thing with McDonald's, but somehow I still keep eating it. I remember actually the last time I got KFC, it must have been 20 years ago. I was sitting with my friend and we were eating it. I watched her face as she was eating it go from like a pale pink to like a white. She was feeling physically sick as she consumed it. Finger looking good. Used to work for Walmart. Horrible start already, I know. They purposely underscheduled your hours so you wouldn't qualify for full-time benefits. Let me explain. I was hired as a full-timer. I found out the company offers different levels of benefits, including health insurance if you're full-time compared to part-time. Part-timers got limited dental and vision, only included partial purchases of frames. Full-timers got full dental and everything was included in your vision. The doctor visit, the prescription, full frame purchase, etc. In order to be considered full-time, you need to work more than 33 hours consistently for 3 months. If you're anything less than 33 hours, you're considered part-time. My schedule was always 33 hours or more for exactly 2 months and 3 weeks. Oh. My very last work week of the 3-month time period would be 32.5 hours. And each and every 3 months this would happen. Stop! That's so infuriating. I asked my manager why this kept happening and she lied to my face. Every time. Different excuses each time too. Saying the store manager didn't allow overtime. Or how the company didn't have extra hours to give. Or say the store manager didn't project any additional hours for our department. But the biggest one is that we'd get in trouble if we worked even 1 minute over. We had to constantly check our hours, and if we stayed late one day, they'd force us to leave early on that last week. But usually they'd force us to take longer lunches. Essentially screwing the other people in our department. And the biggest issue was, let's say you work for 3 months straight at 33 hours or over and qualify for full-time benefits. If on your next 3-month cycle you worked even 1 week at 32 hours, you would go back to part-time benefits. You'd lose your full-time benefit status really quickly. This happened to many coworkers I know. Really, a multi-billion-dollar company like Walmart is skimping on these tiny minor details? I'll never understand it. I worked at a large organic food grocery store. Most of our produce wasn't organic. Amish people would buy produce, slap a certified organic sticker on them, and then sell them to us. We knew it, but it didn't stop us because it meant much higher profits. Yeah, organic food is insanely expensive. It's like double the price just because you want organic on it. I went to that grocery store's top organic food rival for a job interview. I was offered the job but opted not to take it because the drive was too far and the pay wasn't much more. However, when they gave me a tour, the same Amish produce seller was there. I asked the store manager, "Is all of your produce organic?" She smiled and said, "All of our produce is labeled organic. So what do you think?" I said, "I think I recognize those Amish people from my previous job." And she laughed about that for 10 minutes. Organic food is such a sham. You know, I kind of had a feeling about all of that. It's just a way to get you to spend more money, honey. All right, here's some tea. Booking.com warnings, book quickly because there's only one room available at this hotel are BS. Edit, this blew up. Just so you guys know, they are not only scummy with the customers. The reason that made me leave the company was one day when I saw HR scolding one of my colleagues in front of the whole team for not coming to the office 2 days prior. The reason my friend didn't come to the office was because his son had a serious medical condition and my friend had to rush him to an ER. But apparently this reason was not good enough for booking. They treat their employees like crap. E-commerce professional here, whenever you see only X left on any website, what you should do is right-click and inspect code. In most cases, and even on Amazon until recently, it will include the word random, in which case you know it's fake. I can't even tell you how many times I have panicked when I've been like booking, you know, travel or something like that, booking like a hotel or whatever, and they just always say that, you know, there's only one room left at this rate. Oh, book now. You have 25 seconds left to book your booking. I get so much anxiety booking these things. And then of course there's no refunds if you book it wrong. They make you do it because they make you feel like if you don't book it right this second, you're gonna miss out on this great deal. I hate booking things. I get my dad to book me things like at all costs. If I don't have to book it, I won't do it. I'll have an anxiety attack. So a girl on TikTok went viral because apparently she claimed she resold cracked makeup in a viral TikTok. So the TikTok is actually deleted. So I have a feeling that she probably had issues with that. She said in the TikTok, whenever something would fall on the floor or come in broken, we would take a cotton swab with alcohol and pat it down so it could be sold again. Well then, I think that's enough exposing for one day. Subscribe! I've got something that you might like. Turn up the bass and turn up the mic. I don't want no boring disco chunk. So buckle up your seatbelt 'cause we're bringing you the funk. I hope I don't get sued.